Hey, good evening and welcome to the Planning Commission of the City of Pleasant Hill. I'm calling this meeting to order at 6:30 p.m. If you are able, please stand and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag liberty and justice for all.
Now we have roll call, please.
Commissioner Chiang is absent tonight. Commissioner Colfin.
Here.
Commissioner Mascaro.
Here.
Commissioner Weber is absent tonight. Commissioner Weiler.
Here.
Chair Field is absent tonight, and Vice Chair Vavrick.
Here. Okay, next on our agenda is the public comment period. The public is welcome at this time to address the Planning Commission on any item with the exception of items scheduled for public hearing. There is an opportunity for the public to comment on those items at the time that they are discussed. Comments are limited to 3 minutes per speaker. I'm not seeing anybody in the chamber. Do we have any public comment?
No comment cards.
Okay. Close the public comment section and move on to item 5, the minutes of our last meeting, which are the minutes of March 25th, 2025. Any corrections, additions, changes to the minutes?
Motion to approve minutes from March 25th, 2025.
I'll second that.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Colfin.
Yes.
Commissioner Mascaro.
Yes.
Commissioner Weiler.
Abstain.
And Vice Chair Vavrick.
Yes. Okay, next on our agenda is item 6, the consent calendar, and we have only one item on the consent calendar. Item 6.1, ENT 2024-001.3, the Downtown Master Sign Program for the Downtown Shopping Center. Anyone wishing to pull the consent calendar? Anything? Okay, can I have a motion to approve?
A motion to approve the consent calendar items for this evening.
Through the chair, do we need to ask for public comment on this or no?
On a consent? Yeah, okay. So I will, thank you. I'll open the public comment period. And if we have no public comments on the consent calendar,
No comments received.
okay, I'll close it again. And
Motion to approve consent calendar for April 22nd, 2025.
I'll second that.
roll call, please.
Commissioner Colfin.
Yes.
Commissioner Mascaro.
Yes.
Commissioner Weiler.
Yes.
And Vice Chair Vavrick.
Yes. Okay, we're moving on to, we have one public hearing this evening, and it is 7.1 ENT 2024-004, the Carlton Senior Living Use Permit. At that facility is at 540 Patterson Boulevard. Do we have a staff report?
Yes, thank you. So the item before you tonight, as you mentioned, is for the Carlton Senior Living Facility. It's an existing facility, and they're requesting a use permit and a parking reduction. And so the specific request before you tonight, the existing facility, the applicants are requesting to modify their operation plans. This would result in a total reduction of overall beds at the facility from 86 to 65 beds. But it would result in an increase in the number of beds that are dedicated for dementia care patients. Currently, only 44 of the 86 approved beds can be utilized for dementia care, and they're requesting that all 65 beds may be available for dementia care. And the existing site, I'll get into that in a minute, but has a 28 stall parking lot. They're not proposing any changes to that parking lot or the building itself as part of this request, and so that will trigger a parking reduction. So here's the site. It is in our multifamily medium density zone. The building sits in the center of the site with a one-way drive aisle that wraps around the building, providing access to the parking that's on the sides and the rear. And here's an existing site plan showing that. And as I mentioned, there's 28 stalls currently existing in that parking lot with no changes proposed. And so in 1963, when the site was originally approved for a 101-bed senior care facility, however, that use permit expired and the site when the site became vacant. And in 2000, the current use permit was approved for that 86-bed assisted living facility with a maximum of 44 dementia care patients of those 86 beds. At the time, there was a parking reduction approved for the site for 28 stalls where 43 would have been required. I'll mention that staff did some research into potentially why the number of dementia care patients would have been limited to 44. And we found some discussion regarding parking. While it wasn't concrete, we believe that at the time it was analyzed that the dementia care might have required more parking, which is why they limited it. I'll get into that though later. They've updated their parking study with their current proposal. And so Carlton has been operating there since 2000. And so the use permit request to reduce the total number of beds, but ultimately then increase the number of dementia care patients from 44 to 65. The applicant has stated this would allow them greater flexibility in leasing opportunities and also meet the increased demand for dementia care. And staff believes that these modifications, since again, there's no site or building changes, will not increase any noise, traffic, or lighting impacts on site. So really, then we're left to look at parking. And so the ordinance requirement for this site, or for this use, excuse me, is 1 parking space for every 3 beds, plus 1 per employee, and 1 visitor parking for every 4 residents. So that's a total of 57 parking spaces for this site. As I mentioned, the existing 28 stall parking lot will remain, and so this requires a reduction of 29 stalls based on our zoning ordinance. And so the applicant did a parking demand analysis that was included in your packet. The analysis looked at kind of 3 different models, the first one being ITE data, which looks at the use generally, and that parking demand is 0.4 parking stalls per bed. Applied to this site of 65 beds would be 26 stalls. Similarly, the report also looked at 3 local care facilities with similar operations, analyzed their peak parking demand, and found a similar 0.38 ratio of stalls per bed. So it's similar, about 25 stalls. And then finally, the parking analysis did an on-site survey of this specific site and observed a peak parking occupancy of 23 vehicles, which equates to an average about 0.39 vehicles per bed, which is 26 stalls. So all 3 methods were fairly close. And I'll just mention that staff also did a few just quick site surveys that verified these results. And so in conclusion, based on the report, the 65-bed facility would have a demand of 26 vehicles, which could then therefore be accommodated on the 28-stall parking lot. Part of the report, though, did mention that the site could potentially be served by some of the adjacent bike routes. And so because of that, and to support the parking reduction, staff is recommending that the applicant install 2 bike racks somewhere on the property to help facilitate that. And so that's been included as a recommended condition of approval. So in conclusion, as I mentioned, the applicant is hoping for this request to support the growing needs for dementia care. There's no physical changes to the building or the site, would not cause an increased demand in parking on site, and would, staff believes, would not result in any negative impacts to the surrounding community, and is therefore recommending that the commission adopt the recommended resolution and approve the use permit and parking reductions subject to the recommended findings. I'm here tonight if you have questions, and the applicant is also here.
Any questions for staff?
I have a question, but I'm not sure staff can answer it. Maybe the applicant can. And well, how does that affect the employee to patient ratio? And do we lose employees or gain employees?
I can let the applicant chime in as well, but I'll mention we did speak with that, with them, and that was analyzed as part of the parking, at least specifically related to the parking. And the data for dementia they're treated the same as any other assisted living, in terms of needs for parking. But I'll let the applicant speak if there's anything additional they can add on that.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions for staff? Okay. Well, I'm going to open the public hearing and ask the applicant if they'd like to make a statement at this time. Or maybe just come forward and answer a question if there are any from the, no questions? Do you have questions for the applicant?
No, I'm good.
Okay, you got an answer to that? Just checking. So the public hearing is open. Do we have, Shannon, any other?
No comment cards received.
No comment cards? No one in the chamber? No public comment? No more public comment? I'll close the public comment period, bring it back to the commission.
Sure.
Anyone like to make comments or
Sure.
start?
Yeah, I don't have any issues with this project at all. In fact, I really appreciate what you guys are doing. I think it's critical. I do want to say that it was super helpful to have the background and the parking discussion. Is a pretty significant reduction. So when I first saw it, I was like, ooh, that's a pretty big reduction. But then going through it and reading it, I think that was super helpful. So really, thank you for doing that. I think it's really helpful to sort of understand how we got there. That was my only question, and I think you did a wonderful job in the staff report. So thank you.
Any other comments?
No, I have no problem with it. I'm very happy with this application and I'm ready to approve it.
Okay, I would agree with that. And would anyone like to make a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve a resolution of the Planning Commission of the City of Pleasant Hill approving a use permit and reduced parking ENT 2024-0044 for Carlton Senior Living at 540 Patterson Boulevard.
I'll second that.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Coulson,
Yes.
Commissioner Mascaro,
Yes.
Commissioner Weiler,
Yes.
Vice Chair Vavrick.
Yes. And the motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Moving right along here to the discussion items. Discussion item 8.1 is the status of current planning projects. Any questions about anything on the list? No questions?
Is there anyone interested in buying a hotel site yet? Bummer to see it not go through.
Well, bad. No other questions on the current planning projects? Moving on to 8.2, staff communications.
Just really two items this evening. First of all, the City Council held a study session last night on the ongoing comprehensive zoning ordinance update, including zoning map revisions. So that was held. Additional feedback was provided, and so we are continuing the process to where the formal public hearing process will start, in which case the Planning Commission will then see the whole package that you previously saw about 3 times last year. But the process is still going. It's not an easy process, but it is making its way through, just in case you were wondering. And then the second item is, I believe the city is celebrating Earth Day on Thursday. And I make point of that because we are doing a climate action plan, and we are going to have a table at the Earth Day event where people, residents, anyone can come and take our climate action survey that's still open on our website, or they can come and ask questions, or they can just come and check things out. So just wanted to make a little plug for that, in addition to the city's Earth Day event. So that was it.
You know, I noticed in the city newsletter, there are quite a few organizations that are going to be there. At least we're listed. So it should be a good event. I mean, I was impressed with the amount of participation from, from organizations and other groups that basically have an interest, and thought this would be a good place to, communicate with people. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
And Off the Grid will be there. It's Thursday.
Pardon me?
Off the Grid will be there.
Oh, well.
We moved
Oh,
it
that's
to,
right.
it's been moved to Thursdays. Previously, it's been on Wednesdays. It's now on Thursdays.
That's right. It was moved from Wednesday to Thursday.
Yep.
I knew there was something about food that caught my eye, but. Off the grid.
For those that care, is it 5 to 7? 5 to 7 p.m. is the Earth Day event.
Thank you for the reminder on the survey too. 'Cause
Yep.
For those of us who've had a hectic year, I'll be sure to jump on that.
Okay. If there are no other staff communications, then on to item 9.1, reports from commissioners on meetings or conferences attended at city expense. Any of those? And announcements and comments from commissioners on anything else. Oh, looks
Troy,
like-
when, the stuff that's coming back to us, when do you expect that to be coming back from the council?
My best guess is probably going to be by the season. So I'm going to say summer/fall.
Okay, then I just want to let you know I will not be here on July 8th. Not that anybody cares, but just want to let you know.
What do you mean,
Okay,
Dave?
thank you.
We care.
I'll try to avoid that date.
Okay.
Does he care?
Yeah.
Right. Any more announcements? Dave? No. Whatever it is. Okay, I'd like to adjourn this meeting at, where are we here? 6:47. That is really some kind of a record.